Said I am a painter, sir, I will paint you a picture of life from the eyes of a man. In my palm I have many a colour, be it sky, be it dirt, it's emotion in my hand. So hand me a surface, fix my eyes on something still, paint it I will. I will hide my talent in my suitcase, they'll never know what I've got. Paint I will not. I will sign every piece with initials, delicate letters of one who does not speak a sound. So hand me a surface, fix my eyes on something still, paint it I will. It's my headspace, sounds ecstatic. All I see, I save in mind. Bring it out when I'm behind and falling. Said I am a painter, so I'll paint you a picture of life from the eyes of a man. In my palm I have many a colour, be it sky, be it dirt, it's emotion. Sky, be it dirt, make your own art. You can.
Hi there, friends, and welcome to Color Inspiration, where my kickoff topic is welcome you to the world of Color Zoom and the world of Beautify. I know some of you have got to see what is Beautify, but tonight I want to take you through the journey of looking at what are the new color concepts, what is the excitement moving from the phosphorescent shades of Fascinature and into the sophisticated pastels of what is Beautify. Now, I have a special guest, as you all know, and we know you love him, but I would like you to join me in welcoming a really great friend, of course, and colleague, but also is Goldwell Global Artistic Master, Mr. Demetrius Chamas. Hi, Demetrius.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Hi, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, of course, who better to kick off Color Zoom
I've
with?
missed you.
I know, I feel like I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So with this, Demetrius, the world of Beautify, I know
Yes.
you and I have the wonderful opportunity to really work closely in this project and then
Right.
present it. And really let's share with all of the viewers, share what is your feeling and what is your take on Beautify? I know New York City, right, is home. And
Absolutely.
I know you see a lot of this where the culture clashes together, the different kids, and also just sophisticated hair.
Right.
Tell me just a little bit about how you view Beautify.
I love it because it's really bringing this element of the streets to a whole new light and really understanding this whole globalization that's happening in the world. So what I love is that it's really taking the sophistication of hair color and just bringing it to another level and adding a youthfulness to it, but that yet is still inspired by different cultures. So looking at things that are so unexpected, the things that you see on the street all the time that are like, wow, I would never have thought of that.
Sure.
And bringing it to hair, bringing it to life. And that's what this world is really about.
Sure. Well, I mean, let's face it, right? I think we're already living in this world of Beautify because think about into the fashion palette. I know you really love a lot of the runway looks, etc.
Right.
And I think that a little of the rule is no rule, but there is a discipline behind it of mixing textures together, of mixing prints together, and
Right.
also tones.
It's unexpected. So like you said, there is no rules. So looking at really what is fashion is, looking at the different cultures, different patterns, and just combining them together. But it's all individual, and that's what I really love about this collection. It's individual to you, and you can take it to the salon and to your clients, and really apply this concept and this collection to your clients that you're working with every day.
Sure. I look at into not only fashion, how does it translate to hair? We got to see this, it's already starting to happen, this hair dipping, this color melted effect. And what we're doing is we're putting a refined bit of diffusion to it, because I think it's really the light and the dark play that works throughout the movement of the new haircuts. Because in shapes that we're seeing, along with the color accentuation, hair cutting is going in a whole new direction as well. I think we're tying together eras, not only cultures, but eras together. And what comes about with all of it? I mean, tell me a couple highlight points about the shapes.
Well, the shapes specifically are like working with really strong graphic lines, and the graphic lines are really there to show a statement and to really bring out the color banding, as you'll see within the concept. And then in addition, it has playful texture, so the texture is there to really create unexpected nuances that are shown in the color. So really the combination that this unconventional color placement that's there, the haircut's there to support it. Yeah. And the strong bands are there and the strong lines are there just to complement and to really bring shape and form to the haircuts, but really having that texture that are combined with it really brings something new and special to the collection.
And that's so true, because you think about it, I had said just a little bit ago that you take a discipline into not only your color design, but also there is the brand new of letting it go. And with it, in the shape, right, you take a really geometric disciplined like cutter, and then also letting it go and putting a really soft texture to it to make it brand new, that there's lots of versatility, because it's not just about wearing one shape all the time. I think the hair is actually just living and breathing. It's moving with a person, right? And I mean, what better way then to tie it into a color concept that we're going to introduce in just a moment than working with something that delivers full color discipline into where does the color move, high and low, not only the light and dark play I mentioned, but how does it actually transition, right? There is elaborate just a little bit more on the color method, will you?
Well, the color method, the concept overall is mix and match. So looking at the color method, there's different application methods, but it's working with two types of sectioning. So you're working with the zigzag sectioning to really support the texture and the movement that is in the haircut. And then you have also the banding, which is that diffusion, that, that color melting per se, that really makes that structure, that line that's really strong in the haircut really pop and showcase. And let's face it, this color melting, this, diffusion, as we call it, is not going anywhere. Ombre has been here forever. Absolutely. And it's not going anywhere. But what I love about it is it's a new ombre. It's a new type of diffusion that's really special and unique to this collection.
Yes, and calling it into even hair painting, if you will. This is just something that bringing everything together, taking discipline, taking the texture, and really reading the shape and working it as one, I think is really what is so special. You mentioned the mix and match. As we go through the evening, we have a lot more to share with you throughout all of the different elements that make Beautify Beautify. But really, I think as a concept and as design is where all of you are going to be absolutely excited, because it puts a nuance to the hair painting and this, what is ombre, right? It brings it into a whole new life. So with that, Demetrius, I know we have a couple prepared canvases for these guys.
We have a couple unexpected surprises.
Unexpected surprises, but I think you're going to find a lot of pretty. How about we take a look at one of the pieces of the collection into the model, Jenny. Okay, so Demetrius, we're here with the Jenny look. Tell me about it.
So there's two simplistic sections. The first one is for the color dipping within the fringe for the banding, and followed by that is a zigzag section for the interior movement and texture that we're going to put in.
So what's first?
The background foundation. So here we're going to actually apply the background foundation with everything except for the two sections. So I'm just tracing around the zigzag section.
And applying to everything that is not isolated.
Everything from scalp to ends, exactly.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's have at it and we'll see what's next. Okay, so next up, what's up?
So we have the front section, which we're going to actually go in, and subdivide into 2 partings.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our color dipping. So I'm going to be going in and applying silk lift.
So no background at this time.
No background, just silk lift with 20 volume at the mid shaft, and paint that on and diffuse that line.
So you're really putting special attention to make sure that you're getting the color, but you're diffusing it vertically.
Exactly.
Great.
And what I'm going to do is, just to see that line, I'm going to release the next slice right on top and continue my color banding.
Within the same foil to create the
Exactly.
effect. So what happens then within the zigzag?
I'm going to be doing the same thing, creating that diffusion at the mid shaft, softening up that line to create that transition.
So we'll get it light enough for our next detailed zones, and then that's when we'll introduce the background into the design section?
Exactly.
All right, perfect. Well, I can't wait for what's next. Now it's time to design. What we're going to do is I'm tapping in my background color into the new zone. Remember, we had done a soft diffusion with the silk lift into the front band area first. Coming through with my concrete shades, I'm now going to work into that mid zone and ends, scalp to end, full saturation. And as I reach the diffusion line, same thing, softly vertically diffuse, mimicking the line that you've done in decolorizing. I'm going to work into this full section all the way to the top. I'm dropping the next. We'll isolate everything, and then we'll get into our zigzag detail line. Zigzag time. What we're going to do within the zigzag is I followed the exterior shape of decolorizing. First, still introducing the background color, and to thread together the front shine line band, I'm going to still introduce the concrete into the first zigzag slice. Next section, introducing background into the beautiful, rich red-violet shade, and diffuse on both sides. Third rotation, one scalp to end slice of background color, and then following that zigzag, I'm going to complete between the concrete into the violet into my background. So you'll get to see what is the Jenny completion in just a sec. So here we are. Yes, Jenny. Demetrius, she's absolutely stunning.
Yes,
gorgeous.
Of course. Well, it's hard to make her, fugly.
Yeah, she's absolutely stunning. Yeah, fugly, that's so sophisticated of you. But with this, and folks, I wanted to share with you, I'm so fortunate tonight because I have with us a very live audience, our North American art team. So not only are you watching, they're all with us as well. So with this, let's go back to Jenny real quick. You can see, I think what makes this look special, it's truly one of my favorites within the collection. But you can see the shine, the beautiful shape that you put together with it. And I know that we were talking about, Demetrius, we were speaking to shine line, we were talking about the zigzag, how it's all going to melt together.
Right.
Just talk a little bit about in the shape. I love the graphic disconnection that's happening, but also I love that the colors are brand new, that we've introduced the beautified red as well as we've introduced the beautified concrete.
Absolutely. So what's happening here is, again, working with really strong graphic lines within the fringe that are disconnected. But what I love is the versatility. And this is what's really great about the collection is that she can really move it over and really create some different looks, even hiding some of that disconnection into a more commercial kind of swept fringe, if you call it, that really creates something, unique and unexpected. So going in from something a little bit more bold, working with this, again, band line that John put in there, again, accenting that and really bringing it out versus hiding it. So showcasing, I think, the color is the idea behind the shapes and the design within the haircuts.
What I enjoy most is as we take just that peek, right? I think that a lot of people want to have a graphic blunt fringe. We know in fashion trending that it's really there, but I think this is really a great way to tie together the thread of wearing both, right? That they have a little bit of the graphic blend. And even
Exactly.
if this were to go a little lower into the brow and then do the opposite, as you were sweeping it, I think what's really great is it does even bring the color into a whole new story.
Exactly. And then you can see that there's multiple textures that are happening on the side. And again, the balance and the combination of the texture meets the graphic lines is really what the concept is about within the mix and match
Beautiful.
concept with the haircuts.
You know, the color just flirts. And you know, what I love more too is I just want to show into the sides that the color just continues to travel all the way into the sides that run off of the lid, but also sitting against that high gloss 4BP background is
Lovely.
absolutely spectacular. It's liquid color to me.
Exactly.
Right? It's living again, and it's breathing, and it's absolutely stunning. The violets and the concretes, you know, I know we were talking about the way that beautify and just that living in this urban surrounding. Talk to them a little bit more about what is beautifying that urban life. You know,
It's
how does
really
it translate from the
taking
color?
things that that you don't necessarily have control over. So imagine like walking down the street and there's a tree that's not so aesthetically pleasing. So looking at a tree or a fence, and we see it all the time, especially in our urban cities.
Sure.
And taking those elements and actually figuring out how to beautify them, how to make it colorful, how to actually make the world a better place. And that's what it's about, taking these areas, these things that we don't necessarily can't move, and then
Sure.
adding yarn to it or working with different elements to really create a beautiful environment. So it's bringing nature, things that are inspired us by nature, and bringing it to our inner city in our lives.
It's very true, because I know that this is something that it's not necessarily a brand new thought process, but I think what is making it brand new is this new millennium baby crowd, this new movement, if you will, of people. We really are just beautifying our space, and we're taking and borrowing something from maybe yesteryear and giving it a rebirth. So I think it's repurpose versus recycle.
Exactly.
And it's just, I think, a really great way to do it. Back into the color, mimicking that, because you were saying into yarn and also even into this mix and match, as that color moves high and low, I don't think that there's anything better than the movement of that point, that arrow, if you will. So I am able to customize this to push more color forward. I can push more color deep. And again, depending on which shape of texture you're working with and also the mass of the head, I can completely customize it with one, two, even a single shade that's going to be a diffused block color, if you will.
Right. Well, the concept is so simple, and that's what I love. And then the versatility, like you said,
Sure.
is really amazing with the mix and match. So you can take these cuts that are very versatile as well in the styling and really apply a color concept like the zigzag where the texture is, and really have just spills of color that just melts and really brings out
That's right.
the diversity and the movement within that haircut.
Exactly. You know, a theory that a lot of you know that I like to base my color thoughts on is that your light is only as strong as the dark that sits beside it. And how this is positioned in the rotation from the concrete spilling against the violet, and then the threading together of the background incorporation within the zigzag line, supported then by the concrete that's shadowing the beautiful detailed line that he's cut in, I just think is absolutely amazing.
And the color combinations I love that are unexpected, and it's
Yeah.
really putting these color combinations together that are very unique. And it's not, you know, it's not something that can be done, you know, at home, which I love. It's these color combinations that are so strategically placed and mixed to really create a unique and brilliant, beautiful end result.
That's right. Well, I hope that you really are enjoying the Jenny technique, because I promise you, I have so much more. What if we actually keep moving on and take a look at another technique called Celia?
Let's do it.
We're here with the Celia image. So Demetrius, what we have is we have 3 isolated sections, front, left, and right, to create the color block of the color melting, followed by the interior zigzag of the top. What we're going to do first is we're going to start our top chic background onto everything that is not in the isolated section, applying to the new growth first, and then we'll work our way throughout the ends and balance later. So I'm going to have at the top chic, and then we'll get back to show you the details. So we're back with Celia, and what you can see is we've applied everything on the background except what's into the isolated sections. Next, I'm going to take into my first zone of the side paper thin parting. Now, using a compact foil method, applying background color into the new zone, approximately 1 inch, into this hair dipping method, I'm going to start to transition them together, tapping in background, transition into the marrying of my decolorizing of the silk lift. Applying throughout the full mid shaft, working my way into the ends, and I'm not worried about the blend zone first. Bringing this up, full saturation. Now, as we marry the two together, flipping the brush vertically, diffusing the two where they meet into the background to create the next harmony. I'm going to drop the next section. I go approximately 2 to 3 foils before I actually make the change into the next foil placement. Once again, background into the new zone. Again, marrying into the silk lift, continuing the same method. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue this not only into the banded lines around the color dipping zones, I'm also going to take that throughout the interior zigzag. So I'm going to have at it, and then we'll get back to you in just a little bit with the details. Okay, so we're back with the Celia technique. What we're going to do in each of the isolated band zones, as I've done on the sides already, I'm going to work into the color blending method, applying my violet coloring, saturating throughout the mid shaft and then into the ends, once again flipping into the vertical rotation into the background that we've already applied. Over top of the background in the back, we just have a quick overlay just to give it that last nuance, incorporate the shine as we build our design lines. Working one section, isolating into the next, I'm going to continue back to back within the full front decolorized band line, and then we'll come back and zigzag in a minute. So now we're into the zigzag design line, and again we're going to use the blending method. Following, taking the full trace of the decolorized shine line, here I'm going to still continue working exterior with my violet coloration, working mid shaft into ends, and still diffusing. And we're going to do that on both sides. Next section, introducing your new shade into your 8-level orange. And again, blending method, scalp to end both sides, diffusing into the background color. And final, introducing the orange copper. Again on both sides, continuing to blend, and then you're going to repeat the cycle into the tip of your decolorized triangular zigzag line. Okay, so first one of the year, wait for it, and boom. Here we go. Absolutely gorgeous, Celia. Stunning. Demetrius, I'm in love.
Love it. I'm in love.
Love, love.
It's such a great color combination. Again, very unexpected. Love the new shade of the 7PK that you used, which I know you're going to go into the formulas, but really love this new type of copper.
Well, I think, you know, what's absolutely gorgeous, let me just spin her around just all the way. I'm going to have you just turn completely around. What's great is if I look at it, 7PK, absolute, look how it shines. Gorgeous. You can see beautiful shine, luxury, sophisticated color. How do I take an already beautiful 7-level copper and make it better? Add a pearly pink hue to it, of course. 7PK, beautiful. And I think you can agree that this is not only going to be brilliant for your colorations into your red marketplace, but what about that accentuation spilling through a blonde? What about it actually going into a brunette as an accent shade?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's it's a way to really kind of up and just make that red more current and relevant to what's happening now. So adding that coolness, and it's a great way where a lot of reds and skin tones really don't work for some skin tones, and that it ends up being too orangey or coppery. So just adding that just enough of that pink hue just really cools it off just enough so it actually becomes more of a cool copper, which I really like.
You know, what I love into the coloration, we spoke about the bands, and I know into the precepts I could see, what's really lovely is that violet that's living throughout the interior as well as the sides. As you move into the zigzag line, you start to introduce not only the 7pK background, but then as I start to see the details between the 8 level of the orange, and then what makes it even more special, building into the true vibrant orange where you can see all of those tones melting together, I just think creates such a brilliant color story that back to that word of mix and match, that term of mix and match, and also that unexpected quality, I think is breathtaking.
Yes, and you can see how well that it works with the haircut, and that's what's really crucial about the concept of really doing the haircut first and then applying your color after. Going in with the concept of having a great strong shape and a foundation to really place and blueprint your color placement, I think is really key to really creating this dynamic look in the end.
Yeah. You know, and again, whenever you can say, I just continue to move all of the shape around, really, really special, because as the shades come to life, just turn just gorgeous. You can see not only shine, but also the line that just gives that radiance of coloration. And what is only making that orange stronger is that cool violet that it's sitting beside.
Absolutely, unexpected.
Yeah, I think beautiful. You know, going along with the skin, with the shape, absolutely stunning. The 7pK as the background, I know you can't wait to get your hands on it. That's good.
Lovely,
stuff.
lovely.
Gorgeous. All right. Now, I know, and guys, we are going to be sharing all the formulations with you as well. So you just give me a minute. But before we do that, I want to take a look at our next technique, which is the look called Sahur. So Demetrius, we're here with the Sahur image, and I see you have, again, simplistic section. Tell me.
Yes, two. The front one here is for our color dipping, for our banding, and followed by a zigzag section for interior movement to create the texture.
That's great.
Yes.
So what's first?
We're going to apply the background foundation on everything except for those two sections. So going in at the regrowth first and applying our background.
So we'll do everything there and then start at the detail second.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Well, I can't wait to see what's next. So we're back with Sahur, and what we've done is applied the background on everything. Now, I've dropped the front band line to create the first bit of detail. Again, paper thin parting. I'm going to take the first section. Important here, background in the new zone secondary. Applying my Silk Lift decolorizer, I want to get the area on the existing red clean enough. Applying first, we'll saturate the mid zone, work our way into the ends, and this is going to create a very beautiful, soft band that's going to flow into the fringe line, vertically flipping the brush and diffusing it out so I have a seamless harmony as it gets into the exterior. Dropping the next section, doing the same thing and continuing up into the first full isolated zone. Same thing, reapply, mid-zone first, working into the ends, and then as I reach into the root zone, vertically flip and diffuse. I'm going to continue into the full section and then into the isolated zigzag. We're going to do the same thing, about a ½ an inch off the scalp. We'll come back, I'll show you the section, and we'll go into the design line next. Okay, so here we are with the final steps of Sahur. And what we're going to do is around the front isolated band section, I'm going to now integrate the beautified red by introducing into the new zone. We're going to still tap in the 6KS background. With this, using a blending method, we're going to introduce the beautified red in a full isolated section. Coming through, again, mid into ends, and then, of course, as it meets the zone, subtly diffuse the two together. We're going to work this for the full section, and then we'll start to isolate and detail the zigzag line. Okay, so now to design inside of the zigzag. Once again, I'm incorporating the background as a tap-in. Into the new shade, I have the most beautiful violet that's going to spill through and also complement the beautified red. What we're going to do within this full zone, I'm going to continue through the zigzag on both sides, working in a full closed foil, diffusing as the two melt together, working it into the full isolated section, and then you'll get to see it in just a few seconds. Okay, I know you can't wait for the magic. Are you ready to see the Sahur look? Wait for it, and boom! Gorgeous, absolute
Lovely.
shine, luxury, sophisticated. I mean, I know I did it, but I'm still, it's so unexpected.
So unexpected.
It's absolutely gorgeous. But you know, it really, I think, we'll talk about the color, but I mean, I think equally the shape is absolutely magical that it lives on. You can see that the coloration from a technique of zigzag as well as into the shine line, just, I mean, the color melts together, and it's absolutely stunning.
Very. I just love the combination, not only of the violets and the reds, but with the background, using something that, you know, was once one of our old trend shades, bringing that in and just adding another element to it. So, I mean, looking at, you know, the transition from Fascinature, which I love that you're using one of our old models from Fascinature, the henna look in that transition, and that's what I love about the collection. It's just living real life and how to really apply it to what's happening every day and behind the chair in the salon, just transitioning and elevating and moving our clients into something new and fresh.
That's right. And you know, you think about it, as Color Zoom evolves, as we've mentioned from what was Fascinature to now what is Beautify, you take those looks and incorporate new designs, thinking about, even though there is the beautiful true violet running through against the beautified red, I think what makes it so special is whenever it comes together, the violet is just a beautiful flirtation along with the cool background. And I just want to break it down just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Because in that shine line band, right, you are going to be isolating your coloration, right? That you're going to be working along that exterior together. But then whenever we're working within the zigzag, you're taking the look and you're bringing it together. So I'm just going to simply subdivide this quick. So if I were taking, and then even one more, you would take your outline of the zigzag, bring it down as you got to see, and that's your one point. You're going to trace the line because there's this incorporating of this handcrafted that we're speaking to. You continue the same. So it's like a stitch pattern. It's this intermixing of this knit. And you think then it's really what we do every single day as colorists. We do beautiful hand stitch work between all of the foil work we do, the weaves, our slices. And as this all spills together as one, I think that it's absolutely magical, right? Looking at the background base.
Beautiful
Boom.
background base.
Right?
And I think it
go ahead,
just
I'm sorry.
supports, you know, like I said, that those meltings of and that diffusion. I think, and that's what makes the collection. It's a new spin on these pastels that you're seeing as a trend, and that we have continued to see through last year, just in a new spin in a new way, just melting together, creating a nice unconventional color look.
Well, and it's something that as we look at a concept and a technique, which we're going to look at the three methods in just a second, what I want to do is I want to think about how do you continue to evolve your canvas every single day?
Absolutely.
Right? Why don't we take a look at one of the still slides, and we'll come back to the formulas in just a minute, that we'll take a look at what is the color concept. Right? In the zigzag, you think about it, that we're working into the color story, into that placement. So those zigzag lines. And do you want to elaborate on that, Demetrius?
Again, the zigzags are there to really showcase the texture within the haircut. So the zigzags, you're working with a large zigzag pattern, but you're also slicing and weaving multiple shades and melting different accents through that zigzag pattern. And what it allows it to do is really just melt and spill and really travel from the highs and the lows of the haircut.
Mm-hmm. So it's showcasing the texture, where then the bands, I think we did hit it a little bit, but that's always working where you have a little more weight and strength, or a graphic edge, a softened graphic edge. You can create it as a shine line band, right? Or of course, my favorite, taking that band and diffusing it vertically, because it really is the art of color. And inside of that, of a color concept, let's look at the mix and match and look at the three different dipping methods. So as you go into first, the shine line, What that's going to do is that is going to be a placement that you can see where two colors come together.
Right.
And if I choose, I can have that contrast between the two, or again, I could vertically diffuse.
The shine line band is that place where the strength lies within the haircut. So you're usually going to place that, like you said, in those areas where it's the fringe, or let's say the disconnection of a band that falls on the side of the head. So it's a great way to really accentuate those strong lines that you have in the haircut.
That's right. And into the blending, I think truly diffusion is key. Hair painting, as we mentioned, it's not that it's brand new, but
No.
at the same, I think that it really is a sophisticated art of hair color that sometimes it might be a little challenging. You don't want to see the takeoff line together.
You can always see that you can feather up within that. But what's really great about this technique is that you're blending within another product. So it's allowing you to really merge two shades, whether it be a base color into an accent, or a diluted version of that shade, to really create a nice seamless version and strength to that accent color.
That's right. And then even to take the last into transition. Talk about this just a little bit, because this is, I look at it as the most flirtatious way of putting shadows and accents through the color.
Yeah, this is what you're going to find mostly done on the longer hair. So you're back combing, and you're doing about 2 to 3 back combs, really getting rid of the hair. So imagine the most finest weave possible, but backcombing that hair and really then diffusing, like blending, onto that strand that you're not backcombing, which really creates the most subtle accent that's impactful and yet unexpected.
That's right. And I always think about it as it's backcombing and cushioning versus doing a teasing, that you're not trying to create volume.
Right.
You're trying to reduce and distribute the hair, right? And then you diffuse through the middle. You know, favorite tools, it's Top Chic, it's Illumin, it's Colorants. All of those tools are brilliant, I think, to add that new accentuation that it melts away and show from the scalp and shows all of that texture.
And again, it's a new way, and it's an interesting way to really have that kind of ombre effect that's very sophisticated in its technique, because you want it to look seamless.
That's right.
You want it to look professional and beautiful.
That's right. And so Demetrius, I know that into questioning, I know a lot of people are going to have, where do you even see a little bit more, as well as how do they even learn the haircuts? Because the cuts really do showcase the color so brilliantly.
Well, with Beautify, there are 4 haircuts that we actually teach within the collection, as well as
Sure.
the 8 looks within the collection that you saw in the trailer. So there are step-by-steps within the haircuts, as well
That's
as
right.
the color it.
And throughout 2013, you'll be able to, of course, in multiple ways, not only at colorzoom13.com you can find, but also then, of course, through any of our on tours into our academy education, and then, of course, locally in your distribution near you. And with that, it'll take you through the full color story, the cut journey, and of
Step by
course,
steps.
inspiration styles on how to create what is Beautify, and understanding the technique so then you can even take it a little further yourself. I know the big question as well is into the formulations. Why don't we go back to the Jenny look and talk about what were the actual details, what were the tones that created the effect? Yeah? So we have Sahur up, but it's okay. Let's go back to Sahur for a minute. So with Sahur, remember, this was the last canvas that you got to see. This was our transition from what was our Hannah look from last Color Zoom to what is now. And the background foundation, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah,
a little bit?
6KS, again with our 3%, beautiful copper silver. So again, very similar to the concept of our new shade 7PK, adding that coolness effect to the copper, but again, muting it down so it's not so vibrant.
Yes.
And it's a great foundation to support, your details with your Colorants formula as well as your Illumin.
That's right. And then, I think that introducing then the beautiful red, the beautified red of the 7RO 6VV with 5R to gain that depth, because you want that really true red, but then beside it, that Illumin detail of the mixture of 20 mils VV et al. And 5 mils PK et al. really
Absolutely.
gives a new special identity to that red violet.
Absolutely. I mean, I love adding the PK et al. To the violets, just to really give it that reflection and that pop, which is really spectacular.
All right. So why don't we go into Jenny. Hi, Jenny. With this, you could see the beautiful, cool background of the 4BP along with 3%. Because what we had existing, as you got to see in the pre-film, is there was a lot of a level 5 existing, but it had high, mediums, and low threaded through it.
Right.
So the 4BP for me was the true background to accentuate then what are the details.
With that concrete, I love the concrete of the 8SB with the HEB. So, of course, decolorizing first and then going in with that colorants just to create a beautiful, smoky kind of concrete shade to really support and accentuate that banding that you see within that fringe.
Yeah, sure.
And in
Please.
addition to the RV with the RR, again, just spilling, beautiful color combination. Again, very unexpected to really pair these two together with the support of that really rich chocolatey 4BP background.
That's right. And this is one way to create the beautified concrete, the
Absolutely.
SB and GB combination. The thing with that, I think, just to throw out, is that the color, that the pre-lightening that's done first needs to be light enough so you're not getting a neutralization. You need to pass that level 9 to move out of the yellow phase, because otherwise you're going to get more of a neutral. So this is one way to create the beautified concrete. Of course, I could do formulations with an Illumin. If you need to actually squash with Top Chic, that's okay. Or of course, in past webcasts, we've actually spoke to platinumizing, taking a very cool dilution on damp hair with the Top Chic of 10 volume, 10A, 8SB, maybe a 15 mil to 5 mil, right? Just on the damp hair for about 10 minutes to create that cool canvas.
Yeah, I mean, I think in looking at this, you might be wondering the process of it, and you saw the step-by-step, but ideally just working systematically within that approach, doing the haircut first, going in with your zigzags and your bands, decolorizing that, or applying the background first, then working those details, really makes it practical to do in the salon, which I love. So it's a concept that is not so crazy and out of the box, where you actually can then translate into the salon every day behind the chair.
That's right. So with this, it really is about making your color work really smart. You know, and I know we have one more canvas that we need to take a look at the formula grid for Celia, because I think that's so special. And we spoke to it that with the 6% and 7 PK,
beautiful,
absolutely stunning, because we had a bit of a lighter canvas to begin with. But then what made it special is into the colorants details of the VV mix, RR mix, and clear to create something unique and, again, unexpected within your tones. Your 80R and then an 80R with a KK mix and RR mix.
Right.
You know, one of my favorite ways to overlay this is onto a towel dried after shampoo. Right, and I know we both utilize it all the time.
Yes.
Into Illumin, one of the methods of utilizing it into on really towel dried hair as a overlay,
gloss,
as an
yeah.
express overlay.
It's a great way to actually utilize Illumin that's practical in the salon as a gloss. So you have your foundation already there. You're just looking for that extra pop and that extra sophistication to that color and that nice effect. So it's lovely to actually towel dry, even in your blonde canvases as an everyday thing. It's a great way to really upsell services within the salon.
That's right. So those diluted details can be your most perfect overlay ever to create even more radiance and shine.
Yeah.
So I hope that everyone is feeling good so far, because trust me, there's more.
There's always more.
I know.
With you.
It's Color Inspiration with John Simpson. So with this, I want to take a break for a second, Demetria.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually say thank you so much, because I do have some more.
All right.
And with this Color Inspiration, we know we're kicking off 2013, and this is the first step. But also, we have a whole lineup of a whole new idea behind what is Color Inspiration. And I know some of you may have heard within the media buzz that someone within the industry has joined my Goldwell family. So really tonight what I want to do is, I know he's here with me, and I want to take this special opportunity to introduce another very special guest, Mr. Patrick McIver. Patrick!
Hey.
Hi! Welcome to Color Inspiration, and welcome to Goldwell.
Thank you so much.
Oh, come on. It's a pleasure. We've known each other for so long,
Yes.
right? And it's been absolutely amazing. And, you know, when I've known, but I'm going to let you talk because I don't want to take up all the time. But I'm so excited. And I know you guys, I'm so glad he's here because I want to share what is Patrick all about with you. And I know just a couple questions,
Sure.
really. And, you know, let's chat it up. Welcome to Color Inspiration.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so with it, I mean, tell me why, Patrick. If I think about the first question, I mean, I know why, but why Cal? Why Goldwell KMS?
It's easy. It's the people. You know, I have had the opportunity throughout my career to work with some extraordinary people.
Absolutely.
And the ironic part is they're all here. From John Mulroney, I tried to hire him in 1993. He tried to hire me in 2008, but the right people weren't around us.
Sure.
Trevor, I had the opportunity when he first started years ago as a brand manager for shampoo. I carried his desk up into his office and just had the opportunity. His wife was a hairdresser. She had just moved to New Jersey and was really looking for how to make that transition from a California hairdresser to a New Jersey hairdresser. And there's a big difference there.
A little bit.
And so got to know his family, too, at the time. His wife then, but now with his 2 children.
Yeah.
And then Stephanie Sprankle with KMS California. First time she was on stage was with me in Cincinnati. And the thing is when you look at just starting there, and then Sandra Humphreys.
Yes.
She and I had the opportunity to work together for many, many years and build another brand.
That's wonderful.
And the thing is that everybody had the realization at one point that we needed to get with the people who are like-minded like us.
That's right.
To help the stylists grow and to help make them the star that they are.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And because, I mean, again, I know all of, the brilliance, not only of hair color, but also the passion of the industry. And, share with us something that I know you have something very special, near and dear to you, that is something called Techniculture.
Yes.
All right, do you want to share and elaborate just with the viewers a little bit? What is Techniculture?
Awesome. Well, I think we're in the first revolution in our industry since the 1970s. What Sassoon taught us in the 70s was the fact that we needed to have a mastery of technique and an understanding of culture.
Yeah.
And sometimes culture influences technique, where we'll see things that have started on the street, we'll see styles that then we have to understand how to interpret as hairdressers. But other times as hairdressers, we influence culture.
Sure.
Whether it was the Mia Farrow haircut, whether it was the Dorothy Hamill haircut, Farrah Fawcett, Jennifer Aniston Friends haircut, where all of a sudden what we've done and what we've created has changed the way culture and the way society looks.
Right.
So Sassoon taught us that it was that understanding, that mastery of technique, and that understanding of culture that would allow us to create the success that we wanted. But now is the next revolution. And this revolution is going to be driven by technology. Because today, it is the use of technology, the mastery of your technique, and the understanding of culture that will allow you to share what you're doing every day in the salon and allow those successes to go outside the walls of the salon and allow you to have the success you want every day behind the chair, allowing you to provide better for yourself, to be more successful, and to really celebrate your art. And most importantly, as a center of our community that salons have always been, it will allow us to take back that social network and really have the influence on our community that we as hairdressers have always had.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. I get chills every time I get to listen to you, so that's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. So welcome. But with this, let me ask you this too. Because I just find Techniculture absolutely, it's amazing, and I love the way that your mind works. And, any little one thing that you want to talk about, how does the crossover between Techniculture and Goldwell even work a little together, within the brand?
Awesome. Well, let's think about as a stylist what some of our ultimate goals have always been. As a stylist, one of the greatest things I could ever hope for was that somebody went up to one of my guests and said, "Who does your hair?"
That's right.
But
That's
today, we don't have to wait for that to happen because we can use things like Facebook,
That's
where we
right.
can comment on our friends and our guests' Facebook pages the day before they come in, the day after. So now instead of giving them 3 cards and saying, please give this to your friends, family, and coworkers, don't worry about 3 cards. Just make a comment on their Facebook page and share that you're excited to see them tomorrow or that you're excited to have done their hair today. Now all of their friends, which could be 500 or 5,000.
That's right.
So with Goldwell and Goldwell KMS California, I want to make sure that the Goldwell stylist and the KMS stylist is the most viral and most celebrated stylist in the world. And it's just like doing this.
That's right.
It's sharing the greatness that we have. I know you came in to do Color America with me, and
Exactly.
if we hadn't done that, we might not be standing here today.
Exactly.
And it's the fact that we got to celebrate each other that allows that to continue on and have
That's right.
successes.
Yeah, I agree 400%. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And, you know, I had shared with you just in side conversations, just how excited I am that taking that Goldwell brand and putting your expertise and love, right, of the industry together again, I mean, is really, it's world class. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be very, very excited to even see more of this man if you haven't already. So, yeah, Patrick, again, welcome so much.
Thank you.
Excited. So excited.
Thank you.
No, thank you, but don't go away. So, with this, what I want to do is I want to bring Demetrius back. I want to bring some of my pretties back.
Awesome.
All right, you stay
Yeah.
here with us for sure. Because also, I had shared with you that into the beginning of Color Inspiration, this is just the beginning. We have a whole new series of events lined up for you. And this is just one. Thinking about the next that's coming about is we're going to take you from, tonight we introduce you to Beautify, and we're going to take you through that journey into how do you actually compete, or how do you compete, or how do you create now a variation of hair color. And Demetrius, you know, with this, tell me just a little bit about, you know, what is the setup into our next webcast, because guess what? Welcome back. He's my next special guest. And what I love, it's, I mean, again, who better? He's going to tell him the story, but I always think about a couple of things on how do I take this brilliant technique, this concept, and actually push it further.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting webcast. Definitely looking at how to translate a concept, an idea, a collection like Beautify and make it your own, but still staying within the realms of what is Beautify and how it's translated into hair and really making it your own. So you're going to see some great variations of the looks and some great inspirations and influences from Beautify to really create something that's new and relevant to 2013.
That's right. And as you've got to be introduced to it, now thinking about what is the next chapter that all comes together. How do you make it your own? And you know, Patrick, even just from your point of view, I know you've been exposed now over the last few days to what is Beautify. He's been living it.
Absolutely.
And you know, any thoughts just about what is Color Zoom and Beautify altogether?
What I loved about Beautify and Color Zoom is that it gives you like Lego blocks of success.
Yes.
That then allows me as a stylist not only to learn it in its purity and have that inspiration and have a total look that I can bring to my guests in the salon every day, but it also allows me to translate it at many different levels. Because if I want to really push and create something very exciting, I can go with things like Illumin and really make that impactful and very urban, streety, edgy. If I want to make something that has a little bit more lift or get that great coverage for the guests, but at the same time make them feel fashionable,
That's right.
I can use the techniques with Top Chic.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can also, if I want to make something that's a bit more softer, maybe a bit more commercial, we can go with color-ons.
That's right.
So with these Lego blocks, I can just clip them together, maybe take just an aspect of it and use that one piece. Maybe the zigzag ethnic-inspired partings
Yes.
within the guests that I have that has never experienced something like that.
That's right.
And the collection gives us color that people want to have, not something that people have to have.
That's exactly right. So well said. And you know, just truly, as we were watching you with the Illumin, it kind of made my heart smile because I still got to see you smile
Yes.
the whole time. So it was great. And you know, you went in there and you cut hair for us. And that
Don't make an appointment in the salon yet.
well, I applaud you to go through it, but so
Pleasure.
thank you so much. And why don't, ladies, where's my pretties? Jenny, Celia, Sahur.
Look at them.
Absolutely stunning. Here, get in tight. Come on, girls, come on. Absolutely breathtaking. Okay, there we are. So with this, I hope that if you have any questions or anything, remember, continue. Hit me up on Facebook, send a chill chat. One thing that we're going to be doing as well is I'm going to start continuing after the next webcast. For about the next 45 minutes, you can actually have a really great interactive chat with myself and my special guest live right after. So if you didn't get to all of the questions, hit me up, tag me, tweet me, poke me. So with that, what I want to do is I want to think about the Color Zoom Challenge, and I believe that we have a grid for that one coming up. What are the dates on that? In February. That'll take you through not only the art of the photo shoot, but also it'll take you through the art of creating those variations. So same time, same place on February 5th. And also remember, for more information, you can always visit colorzoom13.com. But it's continuing that journey. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, remember, I always say a few things, right? Remember that life is not a dress rehearsal, that you have to live it and love it to create it. But even more so, I really believe that within Goldwell, we always say that we're dedicated to color perfection, which we are, and that ultimately means that we're dedicated to you as the colorist, as the stylist, and as the professional. So I encourage you to strive for perfection, and as soon as you conquer it, start over. So there's always room to learn more. So lovelies, team,
Yay.
Yeah.
you feel good?
Feel amazing.
Yeah,
Feel
brilliant.
beautiful.
Awesome.
All right. Guys, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed. Let's continue the chatter. But again, I can't wait to see you soon for the next Color Inspiration Live. Thanks so much. Bye.
And I don't give up. Mama, there go that monster. Abracadabra, Magic Johnson. My mother doctor said I need a doctor. So I called house, now I am a pill popper. Faded like skinnies, young money we winning. I told her if I change, she won't get a penny. Milking it, pregnant, bringing home the bacon. I'm this piggy, loaded like a semi. Send me naked pictures, she knows my she call it Richard. Prior to me, I had to stick my thumb in. One time, smell my finger, make you vomit. Flyer than a hornet, the shoe fit, I worn it. She tried to, can't beat it, join it. Tunchi, coochie, that what she call it. Flag, scarlet, I killed it, marn it. Faded. Yeah, I'm faded. I'm faded. Young Moolah, baby. I'm faded. I'm faded. I'm faded. And I don't give up.
Like me be smoking while I'm driving, getting higher than the BG scene. We both just staying alive and watching the time go by, climbing. Told you I get enough hash to make a mountain, and you can sit right on your doubting. While I'm somewhere rolling up grass, going up where the clouds is. Some say they get so high that I ain't with them. I say if them get that high, man, I ain't with them. Doing nothing with them, rolling up or puffing with them, going on the road, doing shows or getting ducats with them. I've been smoking in my picture since MySpace. You extracurricular, fly straight.